company who were, no doubt, you could say definitely modern day bullying by instructors, and you just get through it, and sometimes it's worse, and I totally agree. But we're kind of looking at someone maybe not in training, is someone who's actually qualified either as an officer or
right,
he's Corey and he's down there and he's got.
I have one, and this is probably the hardest one. Now it's not bullying, but it is bullying. But I'll explain it to you. So if the four of us are instructors on a course, and the three of us say, I'm not picking you, Jane. Say we don't like Jane, right? So you said to me, what are you doing tonight? And I'd say, we go to the mess for a drink. So we organise to go for a drink, right? But we don't, this happens a lot, we don't invite Jane. Yeah. So it's bullying through exclusion. So she says, they didn't ask me, whatever. So she's typing away and getting her lesson plans ready for the morning. And we all head over to the mess, drink till they all hours come back. Then the next evening you say, let's go for a Chinese. And I'll say, geez, good idea, whatever. We don't ask her, okay? But she can't say, I'll go with you. So it's bullying, and that goes on a lot in the defence forces. So a person suffers. It's not bullying. They're just not being included.
Yeah, that's exclusion. I'm trying to think of like. Look, I hate to do this, but
if someone is depressed, and they don't want to go because they're afraid of what people will think.
Okay.
And then you find out about them. They're saying. You don't challenge them, obviously, but
but see, this is it, guys. If someone doesn't present to me, you'll hear rumours or whatever. But the enemy's full of rumours.
But look, just even take those, because I know, like, just from, I know examples, but talking to Ricky as well, because I trained Ricky. I didn't bully him. He's a colleague. But he tells me that again, and he said something. So I wasn't surprised when you said to me that you hear of people and they're not too proud for everything you've just said. They're afraid of their career being damaged. They're afraid of the stigma of them being, a hard lad on the lines, down in one making one ACS, one of the lads, but having to go down and actually look for PSS support, be it financial or be it because just they're not coping. They have a lot of stress at home, or between the stress of work and the stress at home, they're not coping, and they're afraid to go down and sit in front of someone like you who's got the skills to be able to address the issue. Even if you can take one of those rumours and make it, because all we need is an example that we can fit, and because we do know, we do know it's out there. We do know that there's guys. You've come across guys probably when you were in the ADR, no? Or were you? That just wouldn't avail the service because they didn't want to come in.
If it was me back in the artillery, I would not avail of the services. But now that I'm in the unit I'm in, it's a tighter unit. It's kind of a homely kind of unit, and there's a good bond there. There's a good kind of atmosphere. I would have no problem going to my boss and say, "Look, I need to go and get help, blah blah blah." But I would not in the old unit. 100%.
Which is your more traditional standard.
Like a bigger kind of
defence force. Whereas you're very unique. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and I'm where I am as well. So when I look back at me in the 3rd Battalion, there was like over 100 of us in there. So if I went to, like, the microscope is on you more in bigger units. So where I am now, but I'm just trying to think. So you want me to give an example where a guy was suffering, or girl, did not seek help. I got a rumour that they weren't in a good place back in the day.
Weren't in good headspace.
Right. And then what? What did I approach them?
No, absolutely, because of the stigma.
You see, but a lot of it, I don't go. A lot of it is rumour based. So I'm just trying to think, I'm just trying to think. People have often said to me after a few years after something, they'd say I wasn't in a good place, and I would have frequented their company, and I was like sitting back, going, "Geez, I never noticed that."
I've noticed it. I can tell you, being in the officer corps, not a hope would an officer go and seek out. For the same reason, an officer won't take a USL, even though we've got 7 of them.
They're frowned upon.
It's because it's frowned upon. But it's that stigma.
But here, okay. I'm just trying to, but here a lot of officers come and do see us when they're up on a course. Do
more, when it gets so bad, maybe.
No, when they're up on a course and they're
away
not
from their
they pop across at lunchtime with a query, and I'd be going, okay. So they're down here for 3 weeks in the course, and they'll pop across instead of using their BPSSO. In their home.
I feel like I'm forcing it, but I wouldn't force it only for you've identified it and I've identified it too. And even you reference back to when you were in 3rd Battalion. So we just need.
I'm just trying to think. So you, like, I don't hear back. He wasn't well, and the service didn't do anything for him. I don't hear that, right?
No, it wasn't about the service not doing anything for him.
the individual not presented.
You can never know. You're only going to hear this through hearsay, but you do hear about it. I hear about it too, and like even Jane and the others in the group, they even kind of thought that would be it. And you're right, it is it, because I've talked to a couple of other lads too, and it is the stigma of the PSS. If I barely go into the boss and tell them I'm going sick. As an officer, if I'm going down to get my big toenail taken off, you know, because my foot's hanging off or something, you feel bad.
But here, maybe
PSS.
because I'm in the service and I'm so busy helping that I don't hear about the person that did need help but didn't seek help.
So we'll just talk about, so if you're in the ADR, so a potential example might be if in the ADR, you're just struggling. You're struggling with the fact that maybe you live 40 miles away. You've got a long commute. You're maybe under pressure at home because economic circumstances. You're working long hours. You really just need to go and talk to someone because you just feel like it's too much, you're overwhelmed, but you don't do it because you know that if you do it, all the lads on the lines and the girls
it's all about your environment.
are going to hear about
in
it.
the area, I would have thought someone would have found out, and it would have been rumour will. The rumour mill would have went wild. Whereas now I'm in I knock on my boss's door. I tell him what the problem is. I tell the two guys I work with, and I go down.
Let's just go back to the ADR. So the rumour mill goes into what happens?
You'd walk into someone's office. You'd walk into people's office, and someone might see it. It's in the barracks.
Where to get back?
You know, and then you'd probably say, "What's up with that lad?" And then it could go. Even if the situation would just go out of control.
So you're seen as weak.
You
maybe find you get ostracised. Maybe you find that when the guys are going for that Chinese, suddenly you're being excluded a bit because you're being seen as a weak in the group.
But anyway, that office door is a weakness to the vast majority of people because they don't have that level of understanding probably.
So there's still this barrier. I feel it. I see it. Carolyn makes me want to go to the PSS. I was just kidding, but you know, I don't feel like. But I just wouldn't like.
I think it's all about your environment. I think it's all about where you are and what.
But in saying that, guys, I've gone to a hotel. I've gone to coffee shops. A lot of ring me and say, "Look, things aren't good at home. I'm not going down there. Can you meet me in Katie?" I'm in coffee
but that's
shops.
different. That's not
so
good to do
he's
with it. But even the fact. But the fact that
do
you do that,
yeah.
that's actually reinforcing the point. So even if we tied it into example that people will contact and ask me outside premises.
There's your example there.
So there we go.
Me a fortune
so it's meeting a hotel.
I'm always late now.
So just use that. There we go. That's a perfect example.
So
thanks,
but guys, maybe I'm not hearing and now you have me paranoid.
No.
I'll be listening to the locker room.
No.
The answer's not always going to roll off your head.
So people
Gary,
access.
behind that curtain there.
I'll be doing black ops now for the next 2 months. People, because of the stigma and the guilty by association to the organisation, to the service, people have and do access the service outside of normal working hours and outside of the workplace.
And you could say, what would it be a percentage of your calls that you have to meet outside of armed premises? Now, you could use try and get a ratio of like if it's 10 or 20% or 30%, might give you.
No, we don't have to, and we won't even go down that road because we don't need to. We just need to give the example.
Yeah, so people do access the service outside of normal working hours and at weekends. And I've often brought somebody into A&E
for reasons of confidentiality, so not to be seen accessing the service. So that's exactly what we need. That's perfect. So could you describe how this situation may have unfolded differently if compassion had have been present? So how would it have been different if you didn't have to go meet this person who was so overwhelmed but still wouldn't go down here and meet you in the Curragh, had to meet you off site, had to meet you away so that it could not be seen and would not be seen?
I think it works better sometimes too. There's no uniform, they're not in uniform, there's no rank, there's no abiding by the.
How about this? No, I know what you mean, Gary, and you're on the money, but how about this? Like, if I didn't have to do that, if I didn't have to go to a hotel, that would mean that the environment was such that there wasn't that stigma. So I could be down on the lines. I could talk about the fact that I'm suffering personal difficulties.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be afraid to do that. And by just talking about it, because now you're the expert here, would I feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I feel, okay, so by being able to bring it out into the open, by able to be down and have a problem in my working environment and discuss it with my colleagues, that in itself is a therapeutic action. Would you say that? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's compassion action. Okay. Because that's what I feel is often the issue. Like, you just can't talk about certain things.
Yeah, but I look at guys that come up to me who will be the mother hen in the unit. I'd be on duty with them. Geez, I had a rough one there last. And if you do my job at local level, he said to me, I looked up mortgages and he's gone in and he's getting his mortgage and he done this and and I'm kind of going, but you're doing my job, and he started. So some guys chat it out on the lines, and then a buddy will say, here, ring this lad, ring that lad. So it's like problem shared is a problem.
Absolutely.
Halved,
I'll give you an example. You were in the ADR. That wasn't a great unit. I don't take personal offence, please, but it wasn't. I was there, trained recruits in it. Had a bad reputation, a bit poisonous with some NCOs. Yeah. There was that fear to speak. I was in the 1st Armoured Cavalry Squadron, and you know the 1st Armoured. We had the best esprit de corps in any unit in Defence Forces, and people could talk. We were probably as tough as it came to when we went out to work with the wing or doing recce stuff, and always performed well and always went hard, but lads could talk. There was always a sergeant there like Ali Leonard or Holly or Niall Rennicks, and literally Niall Rennicks would bring you in and he'd probably levitate across the room to you. He was such a calming presence, and even the toughest of soldiers would talk to him. And the point I'm making is that was unique in the Defence Forces, like the unit that you're in now is unique in the Defence Forces. That's the exception. The rule is the ADR, and that's why it's this, and that's really what we need to, I think, address, and like to get your input on, obviously. And
I agree. And then it comes down to, you mentioned all those guys, and I was on about the new generation. Yeah. You know, the millennial or the snowflake, whatever. So all them guys you mentioned, and I had my John Flanagans and Harry Carneys and all them in all nicknames in the army. Sorry. Yeah. So I had all them guys, and they were like a brother stroke father to you. I remember my first trip in Lebanon, Fred and me, life, and Tommy Troy. You know Tommy Troy? Yeah, he was a corporal over me, and even to this day, I will not walk by that man without stopping. So I think back then there was a lot more camaraderie. There was a lot more. Like, you used to look forward to coming in, and they were nearly like brothers and family, and you could say something to them and say, look, you should go and check this out or check that out.
Essentially, so I think the situation would have been a lot different if people felt they could talk to their colleagues on the lines and didn't have that fear. There wasn't that stigma.
I think, and particularly in the army more so than anywhere else. The big bravado, no chinks in my armour. I might be, but at the end of the day... That's a very good statement,
no chinks in my armour.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, behind the uniform is a human being. Yeah. And that's what I found at the hard.
Can you identify the main elements that would need to change to make what they call here your new story true? So that's the version whereby events unfold differently if compassion hadn't been present. So can you identify the main elements in the Defence Forces that would need to change to allow compassion to be present so that there is no stigma?
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned earlier on, career courses within the organisation and penciling in a PSS lecture, which we're doing at the moment. So the likes of the senior course, I'm there next week, likes of the Order Corporals course, Order Sergeants course, what other courses? UNSI, any career courses, we go in and we do a roadshow. So we roll out what the service is, what the service provides.
Okay, so better awareness of what PSS is, what they provide, okay, and communication of that.
Yeah. And rolling it out at the right level. So for example, the JCNS course, the CNS course. So we are a ghetto jail card for a lot of COs. So if they sit in my lecture and all right, okay, that's what they do, that's fine. And then a trooper or private comes through the door and says, sir, I'm in a pickle here, and they blurb out XYZ, here you go, grand. Contact PSS there, look for Sergeant Karl or Corporal calls. Okay.
So awareness through communication, basically, do you think that would make it more acceptable?
I think it's a tool. I think it's, you know, we talk about emotional body armour. So it gives the unit commanders and career oriented people within the organisation a ghetto jail card in relation to the service, what it is. So you might have a unit coming in, he doesn't know PSS is there, he speaks to the boss and the boss goes, oh, he's sat in a lecture. I remember them saying, finances, relationship, bereavement, whatever. so he knows what we're at. So rolling it out at the right levels, we're kind of 80% there, but there is one or two other areas that we could roll it out.
Okay, so leadership. So you're talking about maybe leadership need to be seen,
and career courses.
Need to be seen to encourage use of it. Okay.
Yeah, and then like I rolled out Storm 2 years ago, which is a suicide and self-harm awareness course, and there was a lot of senior NCOs, and I said, Jesus Gary, I should have done this course years ago in relation to understanding suicide ideation, and they said it should be part of the senior course. That was the feedback from my course.
Okay.
So
very good. Gary, just in terms of did incivility, okay, so people being not civilized to each other, being mean to each other, toxic culture, narrow role definitions, exhausting routines, or insensitive leadership contribute to this situation? So did incivility, toxic culture, and narrow role definitions, exhausting routines, or insensitive leadership contribute? And
contribute
to the fact that there's that stigma there.
Yeah. I think yes. I think again we're different than the general population. So there's the kind of the military humour, as we call it. So if a guy knows he's going to get slagged or hopped off or excluded, I think it does.
It's maybe more about military culture as opposed to toxic culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're kind of, and I say this to a lot of people as well. You know, we look at in soldiers, like I say to the social workers, yeah, when a guy comes through the door, he is a human being at the end of the day, but he's coming in the door like as if he's part of work. So you have to kind of snap him out of the military culture. So when he walks back out the door then, after dropping his guard, for the want of a better word, he's back out to the slag and joke and whatever. So he needs to be able to, you need to be able to show compassion. He has to address it from a human point of view, but then also have to deal with it when he goes back out.
So to be more specific, are we talking about even the fact of the uniform itself, the rank structure? Okay, so rank
uniform
structure
is a barrier. Rank structure.
Okay, uniform. So in the
confidentiality.
People are nearly not seeing you're a soldier. You're not a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're a soldier. So straight away, that's a barrier.
And as a soldier, you must be machine-like.
Yeah, machine-like. So they're not expecting you to show any of the, compassion, empathy, unconditional positive regard.
So we're not really, it's not toxic culture. Are we talking about toxic culture?
No, I think
are we talking about narrow role definitions?
Military humour as opposed to toxic culture.
It's not an insensitive leadership, or is the leadership insensitive? You're probably best placed, Corey. 12 years in, is the leadership insensitive?
I can definitely say that there's some people that take things way too far,
insensitive leadership.
They don't have I don't know if it's their training or it's just their general manner, but the way they speak and condemn people is just not appropriate.
Yeah, because we're not seen as people. People just see the uniform. Listen, I fully get that. I think it's a very fair point, guy. Do you think back in the unit, you're probably down in Third Battalion when you were? I'm thinking back to
what went on back then.
Yeah.
And if it went on now, oh my God,
Yeah.
So yeah.
It'd be lads throwing out windows and all sorts of stuff. Up at the time.
I was put in a locker for laughing. I think it was in for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just for laughing, and the locker was rocking. I was still laughing in the locker.
It's character building.
He used to walk by and see the locker moving. Give another hour.
Yeah.
Different generation.
Yeah. But you can look. But I think it does come down to the individual. We've all different personalities in the army. Some guys are by the book, or it's what they wanted in life. When they come in, they want to be this.
Okay.
So.
Final question. Okay. Are there any plans for the near future to bring in enhanced learning and training surrounding the topic of compassion and well-being in the workplace? If so, can you shine some light on these future plans? I think you've already mentioned something about a NAP, but is there anything else? Is there any other
service? So we brought out a mental health booklet at the moment. So we're all the time looking at how can we provide the service more.
When did that come out, sorry, Gary? Booklet?
I think that came out last year.
Okay, so we'll just say that's just released.
So 2017 definitely came out.
Released in 2017.
And then
is there a date on it now?
no, so it's information. Brought two up there for you, Jen.
Thank you.
So that was brought out and incorporated into the Defence Forces, and then we're all the time giving out information, because information is power, I suppose. And if you enable a person to have the power to step forward and access help, I think that's half the battle.
Okay, going forward, is there anything on the cards now, or is there anything in the pipeline, in the melting pot?
Yes, so we have what would you call them, main overseas missions. So with the likes of Syria, Lebanon, and they're the two main ones, where we've over 300. Now they're starting to look at a PSS going out to the smaller, so the likes of Mali. Mali's our biggest threat at the minute, but yeah, PSS have.
So PSS visits to
the smaller
all
missions.
Defence Forces personnel deployed overseas.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's because look, she's not going to be able to dig down any further. That can mean anything to her. I don't think she'd read all this. I really don't.
Yes.
They're throwing a few acronyms at the start.
Look, the app you've mentioned it.
Yeah. So we want something
out of hours.
Yeah, because people are using technology. If I'm sitting home and not feeling good, or the big blue cloud comes over me, that I can just flick on the app and say, right, tomorrow morning there's Sergeant Gary Carroll, that's his extension. Or you might send a text. I know they're probably manning an email. Even if they got an email back, it's something that might keep the person in the right place.
So we're talking about confidential access to PSS.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, it overcomes the stigma, it ties in nicely as well. So yeah. Well, see, we might keep that in our back pocket to say as a suggestion for you. I'm sorry. Well, just because if we can't come up with any good ideas ourselves for what we're doing, we might.
Yeah, absolutely, lads. Believe me, twist and turn it.
Yeah, no, but it's because I think it's a fantastic idea, especially with the new generation and their addiction to phones.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd probably see a tenfold increase. You'd have to get 10 more staff.
Yeah, and it just brings up all the BPSSOs. And even if a guy's up in the course here and he's in a real bad place, I had a guy that a car crashed in the Jack Lynch tunnel one time, and he went over, but the old man had crashed alright because he had a heart attack, and he had died when he crashed. So this guy came back up. He was in a heat, rang the ICMA. So we rang the hospital, as you do, to just follow up, and the old man had died, and then he was worse, and he was up in a career course. So if he didn't get my number, at least he could have had the app or a website that he would find a number, you know. So I always look at it 24/7, and I do get calls at the weekends.
Thanks, a great idea. Anything else that you're thinking of doing, or anything else percolating away in your brain?
Let me think. What are we looking at going forward?
Clone and Ricky.
I think the turnaround in the Defence Forces. So we've a new director now, and he's only in not even a year. What's his name? Johnny Marr.
He's my overseas first county commander overseas.
Yeah, so you know.
Do you want to tell me you're talking to me? Tell him I said hello.
So he is very he's excellent, right? But what I'm saying is he's very military.
Yeah.
So much so that I thought we were all doing tactics or whatever, you know. So he has that, you know, presence, has that aura about it, whatever. So he needs to step back a bit, I think, wearing the PSS hat. But he has serious plans moving forward in relation to what we're going to do as an organisation. So we have a training week every September. So I can't tell you now, but what we did implement last year, we're rolling it out. So we're doing aware courses, which is a mental health.
You have no. So you're rolling out aware courses.
Aware course. We did a RAP course.
What do you mean by aware courses? That's
aware
mental health.
Is mental health, yeah.
Was that aware? That's the organisation aware.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're.
And then we were with RAP, which is Wellness Recovery Action Plan. So RAP. I said at the time, the only rap I knew was a chicken rap.
Recovery Action. And did you develop that yourself?
No, this is a Civi, that's Scottish based. The Aware, I think, is Australian.
So you're adopting this into Defence Forces?
We do the course, and then we do the facilitators course, and we've ran one in the Air Corps, a pilot scheme. So we're working with outside organisations, doing the course, then we're doing the facilitator course in it, and then we're bringing it into the organisation.
So you mentioned that suicide prevention.
Yeah. I did a storm course with Dr. Jill Green, hardest week of my life. I was suicidal at the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She even brought her lunches. Talk about military. We took too long the first day, and she brought a roll in on the Tuesday. And I was like, oh, roll. She goes, yeah, eat that. We didn't get a lunch break then for the rest of the week. We're eating her growth in her lectures. So storm, so we're all the time attending courses, then doing the facilitators, and then rolling them out in the defence forces.
Okay.
So constant.
That's loads and RAP, the wear course, PSS Viz overseas, mental health booklet, but that's kind of this going
And here, if you need to put more meat on certain things, ring me back and I'll give you billions of examples. I'm just kind of like a rabbit.
No, we've done, like, we're going nearly 2 hours. We've got a lot of stuff. We have more than enough stuff to deal with. In fact, actually, we should probably come back and offer a consultancy service for what we're doing. But no, Gary, just remains to thank you very much for your help.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
It's much
I'll come in
appreciated.
today and I
Anytime.
Both for the recording